Hi, everyone. All right. So once a week, I'm going to go live here on the Marketing Simplified page and talk about some concepts that I think would be very useful for you. So this is actually the first one. Welcome. I'm going to get my notes up here just to make sure that I give you everything I want to give you this week. And for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Vanessa Eric Hardy, and I created Marketing Simplified as a product of a consulting business that I've been running for a while. And I created it because I realized that people were just struggling with how to do their digital marketing. And I mean, we all have a general idea of how to do effective kind of social media, or that we should be on it, and email marketing and whatnot. But there's so much out there. It's hard to kind of parse through and really get a good strategy and learn which tools are essential. And so I wanted to really create a platform, a learning platform where people could figure that out. So as I have, a course as well as, this kind of content that I'm going to be sharing with you. So this week I want to talk about the mistake that I see a lot of people make with digital marketing, and kind of turning this around is, in my opinion, the key to really having effective digital marketing, and that's focus. So we all go about social media, not we all, but most of us, I think, sometimes go about social media in that we want to be everywhere we can. We want to post as much as we can about anything we can. And I want to talk about how important it is to let go of some of that. So nowhere else in life, let's say, a lot of times I like to say, okay, online marketing is like offline marketing and business in general, except there's a computer in between, right? And so let's think about other areas of life, other areas of our business. Let's say when we go to roll out a new product or service, we don't really do that if we don't have an end result in mind, right? It's the same as when we go to the store. We usually go to the store because we need something. We don't usually just go to the store to walk around. Sometimes we do, but most of the time we have an objective. So when we get to social media and digital marketing and email marketing and all of that, it shouldn't be much different, right? Everything we do should have a purpose and a focus. And digital marketing is a tool in a whole arsenal of business tools, right? And so we should really pick one thing that tool is going to be really good for. It's kind of like a hammer and a nail, right? You're not going to really use a hammer with a screw. You're going to use a screwdriver with the screw. So it's about focusing your efforts, and then also finding out for your organization what social media is going to be the best at. So along the lines of focus, I wanted to first of all say, okay, let's all let go of a little bit of stress now and free ourselves and say, okay, digital media, social media is going to be for a certain part of our business. For now, I want to look at it that way. And I want to show you some examples. I have two really nice examples for you of how well thinking this way can work. So the first example is Ford, and this example is a classic. There's a huge case study written about it in Harvard Business Review. And it was about a decade ago. So some of the things, as you'll see, are kind of like, oh, I would have done that different today. But the principle of it really works. So Ford wanted to sell more of their Fiesta cars. And you may know the Ford Fiesta as that smaller kind of entry-level car for Ford, right? And the idea is, once you buy one car with a company, as you're going to buy more expensive cars later in life, you're probably going to continue to buy. So Ford was trying to think of a way to not only get more people to buy Fiestas, but to engage or increase their social media following. And this was, again, 10 years ago. So remember, all this stuff was just kind of starting up, right? I mean, back then, Friendster and MySpace were really big things, if you remember that. And so what Ford did was, they knew already through all of the marketing research that they regularly do, that their ideal customer for a Ford Fiesta were usually younger, probably buying a car for the first time, living probably in a big city where the need for a compact car was important. And they said that, okay, we're going to go find people that fit this demographic and have at least 1,000 Facebook friends. Now, remember, this was 10 years ago. It wasn't the age yet of hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers and influencers and all that. So that's what they did. And then they supplied several of these people with a Ford Fiesta, and they sent them on missions in their Fiesta to have different kind of experiences, right? And their social media following absolutely took off, and their sales of their Fiestas actually took off. And they never wavered. So for such a long time, they focused all of their social media efforts on the Fiesta and on these ambassadors, they call them, that were going on these missions. And so that was the tool that they used social media for, and it did a lot for their business, right? Versus trying to do something for every single car they sold. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute, that concept of the alternative of what if they had done something for every single car that they sold as a company, right? Another example is NatureBox. And NatureBox, a few years ago, their director of marketing presented at this conference I was at, and they were talking about the same thing of how could they use their social media in the best way for their organization. And so what they did is they said, well, we have a visual product. Why not engage our customers online? And so they used Facebook and Instagram in a major way for this. And by the way, that's always a good play. If you're not sure which platforms to be on or which to focus on, Facebook has monthly users in the billions, and Instagram is still in the millions, but it's the fastest growing. So I would definitely focus on those two. Anyway, so they said, where is your NatureBox? And they were getting a bunch of pictures posted of people on vacation, people at their desks. And NatureBox, if you're not familiar, it's a healthy snacking company that gives you an alternative to running to the vending machine, right? So you subscribe to get some of these snacks sent to you by NatureBox, and it's a healthy way of snacking, like nuts and things like that versus candy. Anyway, so they're getting all these pictures posted, and they have quite a following now, and they're getting all this content and engagement, and they're really amplifying their reach. And you rarely ever saw anything about the ingredients in their snacks or anything like that. I mean, every once in a while you see a post about that, but what it's really about is the experiences that people have with their snacks. And so people see that, and they want that, and they get more and more customers and more of a following through that. So now let's pause for a minute, because there's another commonality that's coming out here between both Ford and NatureBox. And that's the focus too on benefits and transformation. So in products, we always have features and benefits, right? Features are what makes up a product, and benefits are what you get out of a product. So for NatureBox, features are the ingredients. The benefit is the flavor and the experience you have and the lifestyle you have and the feeling you have from the snacks. With Ford, again, these missions were about the experiences that people were having in the Ford Fiesta. There was very little information put out about all the different features of the car, right? Because once we're stuck on the benefits and the transformation as potential customers, we tend to seek out the information about the features ourselves. So again, features and benefits, features, information, benefits is the transformation, right? So when we do put things on social media, we always want to focus on the benefits, the transformation, right? So here's these two examples again of the focus that Ford Fiesta and NatureBox did, and then the way they used that focus, right? And so what I want to leave you with today is a little bit of work to do or thinking to do to find your own focus. And so I have two questions for you to ask yourself. The first question is, what is the most successful part or program of my business? And the second question is, what do people say that my business or I am really good at? And as you think about these questions, I would think you have a lot of overlap, right? So this whole Marketing Simplified idea was born as an arm in my head, as an arm of my consulting business, because people would tell me, wow, we're mystified by how to use social media best for our business, but you really break it down and really make it understandable and whatnot. And, I would hear that over and over, but there's a whole bunch of other things I do, right, in my business. But that was the thing I decided, okay, I keep hearing this. This is something that I think people really know me for. So this is what, I lead with online, right? And so think about that for your business. Really put some thought into it. Even ask some customers. or some people that know you will, and then commit to that. And I'm asking you to commit to that for a week. So I want you for 1 week to commit to posting about what that one program is that really shines in your business, and stick to just that and see what happens. And if you're really feeling courageous, ask people a question about it, like NatureBox did. Where's your NatureBox? But I want you to really focus on that one thing that you find through these 2 questions, which I'll repeat to you again. One is, what is already the most successful part or program of my business? And 2 is, what do people say my business or I am really good at? I want you to really focus on whatever those questions lead you to and showcase them and see how your engagement goes online for a week. And it can be scary. It can be scary to let go of all the rest, but I want you to just try that. And then next week we'll kind of build on, okay, now that we have a focus, how can we even deepen the engagement? And we'll really start to see our social media change in the way that both we get followers and engage our followers, because engagement is just as important as getting followers. Okay, and then I just want to tell you too that I like to answer a lot of questions on this blog. And so if you ever have a question, just simply email me at hi@marketingsimplified.com. And also I have a free guide that if you join my community, you automatically get, and it happens to be really heavy and take a deep dive into how to truly get focus so that your digital marketing can be more effective. So I would encourage you to do that. And now finally, since this is been a video of just me talking the whole time, I do want to leave you with a fun visual, but you have to promise not to laugh at me. Well, I wouldn't even know if you're laughing anyway, but here is a piece of paper and here is my hand. And I once heard someone say, and I thought this was such a good example, and I think it's so true for digital marketing and social media. They said, okay, try to either penetrate this paper with a finger like that or your whole hand. Now, I'm not actually going to do it because that would just be a really loud and distracting noise, and we're probably all watching this in different places. But you can see how the finger is really what's going to work, right? The focus, and that's what's going to reach more people, right? And especially online, we don't have as much of a chance to reach people because it's such a crowded environment. And so again, I just hope that example kind of leaves you with an idea of how important focus is. So again, ask yourself those 2 questions, take a chance, and focus all of your social media on that for a week and see what you can do or see what happens as far as your engagement goes. And remember, benefits are better than features to talk about, and transformation is better than information to talk about. All right, I'll see you next week. Thanks for stopping by.